Hello and welcome, my fellow nerds, back to another episode of Totally Bored here on Nerd In. I am Christian and I'll be your host for this evening, and tonight we're gonna get into some stats and a small channel update. Let's get into it. So I do want to start this video with the update because it is a bit bigger than I probably let on in the intro. Due to some personal reasons, I'm going to take some time off from doing videos. So for the entire month of June, I'm not going to be doing any shooting, editing, or otherwise for Nerd In. Not to worry though, I still have the videos for this month coming out. So there are still going to be this video and then two others coming out for the month of June. It's a matter of whether or not anything's going to come out for July and if it'll be on time. I'm just kind of going through a phase right now where I'm not really sure if any of this is quite right for me. So I'm going to test the waters. I'm going to take a month off, see how I feel. And there's a chance I might not be coming back to making videos. So I just want to preface this video with that. I'm still going to be doing editing work over on Fusion YGO. If you guys do any Yu-Gi-Oh content, I will be editing over there still. But there is a chance that I might not coming back to making these videos here. And we'll just see how things go. I might just end up cutting how much I'm doing a month or not doing it all, or I might even come back to doing the same schedule that I have now. We will just wait and see how I feel after this month passes. But anyways, with all of the sad notes out of the way, I am going to be diving into my stats for the month of May. I did not have any new game purchases this month, but I do have new games that I've played. Because, well, my dad picked up some games and we played them together. So let's go ahead and start with the new to me games. I have 7 quote-unquote new to me. There, again, are a couple in here that I've played before, but I didn't have logged up until now. But I will talk about those as well. So let's go ahead and start at the top with Similo Fables. This is our introduction to the Similo universe. We figured Fables was probably the easiest to get into. It's been pretty alright so far. It's not a bad game. I like the deduction element to it, but it is very, very challenging trying to figure it out and get what the clue giver is trying to tell you. It's very hard to deduce. It's almost kind of like a social deduction thing, but not quite, because you're getting clues off of this clue taker. It's like Mysterium, but like in a very condensed package, and way, way simpler. It's very bare bones, plays in like 5, maybe 10 minutes, depending on how much you elaborate on certain clues, and it's a neat little time. I like it. It's a good travel game. I do appreciate it for what it is, and it is a struggle to play. Next up is Dice Throne. We finally tried out Dice Throne, and we got, of course, the Barbarian and Moon Elf as the starter package. That's pretty much universally recommended as a place to start in the Dice Throne universe, but we have already expanded a bit, and we do have some Marvel Dice Thrones as well. We have Doctor Strange with Black Widow. I think there was a 4-pack with Spider-Man Miles Morales, Loki, Thor, and Scarlet Witch, which, all good. We've played all of those characters so far. Been quite a blast. I'm not too much of a dice fan, but when it comes to Yahtzee-style games, I do like that. Having basically a game of battle Yahtzee is actually really cool, and I quite enjoy it so far. So looking forward to diving more into that. That's mostly on my dad's end. He's the one who started getting dipped into it, but maybe at some point down the line I might pick up a box or two just to have some at home so that I can play with others when I have the chance. Next up is Root. We finally got to, we're just going through a lot of classics today in the hobby. Root, yeah, I got to play that for the first time. I've only played it once. My dad's already played it 2 or 3 times now, I think. We just have the base game, no expansions yet. Well, he does anyways. And we love it so far. It's actually a fantastic time. We've played as, I think the Marquee and the Birds are the factions that we've played. That's like the recommended starting pair up for 2 players, and it was quite a blast. We do anticipate playing it at 3 before too long. He's already played it a couple of times with my mom, and it's just been a blast. Personally, I think at some point that is a game I might consider picking up myself, especially with a Clockwork expansion, so that I'm able to have another game that I can play solo, and one that is just, it's fantastic. I actually really enjoy Root. Great time. I understand why everybody's been raving about it for so long. It is a great time. I do now also want to go and try Oath at some point in time. I know that they're like Not quite similar, but similar enough-ish. Arcs I'm still kind of torn on as far as Cole Worley titles go, but maybe someday that one can have a shot too, especially if it ever gets a solo mode. But for right now, I think Root is actually quite satisfactory, and it's been a very enjoyable game from the experience that I've had of it so far and what I've gotten to witness. So, spot on there with Root. Next is Gnome Hollow. My parents have actually had this game for a couple months now, I think, or a month and a half or something like that. They played it a couple of times, and then they finally got to table it with me, so we got to play a 3-player game of that. It's a very nice little cozy game that almost takes, like, Cascadia mixed with a little bit of Carcassonne and some other elements in there. For what it is, it's actually a really nice game. It's got some really cool things going on, and I appreciate the design overall. It's a good, cozy game. Just a slight competitive edge. It's probably going to be a bit easier than, like, Honey Buzz as far as complexity goes, but overall, I still think it's a really good time and a great addition to my parents' collection. Not one I think I would own myself personally, but if I ever need to borrow it, I do have the option to do so, and Gnome Hollow was great. I definitely think it's worth checking out for those of you that are curious or maybe have never heard of it before. Go take a look at it and see what you think. Next is Pagan, Fate of Roanoke. Actually, another addition to my dad's collection. We've been looking at a lot of like 2-player only games because usually it's either just him and I or him and my mom. So like 2 players is about his average. Whereas mine, it's about 1 to 2 players. I'd say it's about 50-50 for me between 1 and 2 players. So, you know, having that in his collection I think is just perfect because then I can just play with him when need be. And I played the Witch the first time around. He played the Witch Hunter. I think overall it's a pretty good design. I would agree with the sentiments from Shut Up and Sit Down if you listen to their, I think it was a podcast they talked about it, a podcast episode they talked about it. It does feel a little bit slow, but I think that's just for the first playthrough. I think once we get more familiar with the system, it'll get more snappy, it'll flow better, and it's gonna feel more like an actual deduction type of game. Because that first playthrough, I wasn't really trying too much to hide who I was as the witch, and he wasn't really trying too hard to find out who I was as the witch. He was more focused on just gaining evidence and winning the game that way. And unfortunately, it didn't quite pan out. I did end up winning. I did manage to get my ritual through. But again, I think it's just something that as we flesh out the system and get to fully understand it, it's going to be great. And then we already have some of the content packs to add more cards in there, do some deck building to hopefully enhance the gameplay. And then at some point, we'll probably get the Palisades expansion, or at least I'm sure he will at some point. Pagan, it's a great game, though. I can definitely see the potential in it, even after only 1 play. Like I said, we just need to figure out how to get more smooth at it so that it feels more coherent than it does currently. But still, as it is right now, I think it's quite good. So this one's not really like a new to me, but it kind of is, and that's Final Girl Carnage of the Carnival. I have set it up before and like read the rules, but I didn't get to play through it. But of course, I've played Final Girl quite a bit. I just finally got around to playing the Carnage at the Carnival box, and I got slaughtered. But you know, it was still a good time. I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna have to get more used to it. There's just something about Final Girl that I can't grasp, or I'm just really unlucky when it comes to dice. Like I roll terrible when it comes to Final Girl. And even trying to get the stuff to mitigate my rolls, it doesn't pan out very well for me. And yeah, so I got stomped pretty quick. I went into battle with the boss thinking, oh, hey, I got a chance here. And then I got demolished by the Dark Power. And that was great. It was still a fun time, but man, I didn't think I was going to get destroyed that badly. That was brutal. The last new to me game is the Ostia Pirates expansion. I finally got it tabled. It was fantastic. So the Pirates expansion for Ostia it's tough. It's tough. So I think in the I didn't really get to talk much about it in the Ostia review, but the solo mode for Pirates now has a win or lose condition to it. You get a mission at the start of the game and you have to accomplish it by the end or you lose. And, yeah, I didn't pay too much attention to mine, so not only did I not complete the mission, I also got a pretty relatively low score for what I'd normally get in Ostia, and it was just brutal. There were so many different things to juggle, and it's definitely going to take me a lot of practice. I feel like I'm pretty competent with base game Ostia. You know, I've gotten over the 300 point threshold. Now I gotta figure out Pirates, and it is just a whole beast unto its own. And like, you look at it, you look at all the stuff that it adds, and it doesn't really seem like a whole lot, but the way that it like weaves into the already existing puzzle and web that you have to spin, it's insane. It's actually just crazy how intense it is. Again, like I said, it doesn't seem like a lot on the surface, but once you start integrating it into the whole mechanism, it makes things tough. It takes away a lot of the strategies that I initially had in the base game and makes me have to really pivot on how I manage my resources now, and it's interesting to say the least. So, if you're a fan of Ostia, I do recommend looking into Pirates. It's probably not going to be everyone's thing. Not everyone's going to want to add it to base game Ostia. For a lot of people, I'm sure just normal Ostia is already a good enough experience, and I would honestly agree with that, but Pirates is... Like I said, I gotta play more with it because I am struggling right now. I understand it. Every mechanism of the module makes sense. It's just getting it to piece together with the other ones is the tough part. But very excited to play more of it. Absolutely loving it so far. And that, I believe, concludes my new to me games for the month of May. Again, some of these were ones that were already on my shelf that maybe I had opened and tinkered with before, but I didn't get a full playthrough of, so I didn't get the actual experience of it. And then the rest of them were all games that my dad got, and we finally got to play, which is great. I'm starting to see a lot of the games that people talk about in the hobby. I usually kind of try to stray away from the mainstream stuff, but recently I've started letting that go and started to enjoy some of the games that a lot of people find popular. I was too worried about trying to find the underground games that I was missing all of these gems right there on the surface. So that is on me. I am correcting that now, and I'm starting to find a lot of good stuff to play with. So now for the actual stats here. May was kind of a slow month for me despite all of those new to me games I just listed. I got a total of 32 different games that I played across 57 plays. Like I said, a little bit slower for me. It's about 2/3 of the amount of plays that I usually get in a month. And this number is even kind of inflated a little bit, I'll be quite honest. Because at the top in my dimes, I have 1 dime this month and 1 5. So my 1 dime is Similo Fables. We got exactly 10 plays of that, and that's just because it's such an easy, quick game to play that we just kind of slammed through it. I think that was in 2 total sessions of playing. About like 20 minutes, half an hour each of just playing Similo Fables. And it's a good time. I did enjoy it. We only won like 2 of those. Or well, maybe we won like 3 games, but we realized we cheated for 2 of those. Because there was a rule that I missed as the clue guesser, and kind of threw things off a little bit. But that aside, we still enjoyed playing it. It was still a good time. But that is my only dime for the month is Similo Fables. Yeah, I'll get into the rest in a second. So Dice Throne, we got 5 plays in. Like I said, we played every character that we have so far, and we just got to get more into figuring out these characters and enjoying them. But 5 plays of that so far, not too bad. Unfortunately, the Mighty Have Fallen, we only got 4 plays of Deducto this month. I'm not upset about it. I love the game to death, but I don't need to play it all the time. He keeps insisting that we need to get that number up for these stats videos. I am perfectly okay with playing it a little bit less here and there, taking some breaks from it, getting to enjoy some other stuff for a while. I do not mind that at all. So, I know you're watching, Dad. We don't need to play Deducto all the time. I still love it. It's still a great game. We will still keep playing it, but we don't need to inflate these numbers. It's fine. Anyways, moving on. I did get 3 plays of Honey Buzz Fall Flavors this month. One of those, I believe, was with my dad. Hold on. Oh, no. All 3 of the Fall Flavors plays were just solo. They impacted a video that I have coming up. But I did technically get a 4th Honey Buzz play. I listed it as just normal Honey Buzz, because the only thing I added into it was the Sunset Tracker, because I played with my dad and I figured that module would be very good for him. So I did throw that in, but I logged it as a normal Honey Buzz play. So basically I got 4 Fall Flavors plays, but I don't count the 4th one because it was the simplest module and one that doesn't really shake up the game a whole lot. So I did just I left it as a normal Honey Buzz log, but I did get to play a good amount of Honey Buzz this month, and I'm very satisfied with that. Always a great time when I get to do that. I had a couple of Stonemaier games in this month. I played 2 games of Scythe, 2 games of Apiary. One of those games of Apiary, again, was with my dad, and then the other one was solo. I just love that game. Bees in space, it's such a funny concept, but it actually is executed so well. I gotta give Stonemaier a whole lot of credit for that. And of course, Scythe is just a classic. I'm still looking forward to eventually getting the expansions, although it is going to be a little ways down the road for me. But it is what it is. Always happy to play Scythe. Other things of note here, I got to play Daybreak again. Played that at 3 players, I think for the second time ever. I'm pretty sure I've played it at 3 players before, and it was a good time. This time I got to introduce my dad to it, and I got to play with my brother again, because he really likes that game. I actually didn't know that, but I'm very glad to know that he does, because Daybreak is a very good game. I do quite enjoy it. Simple in concept, a little bit difficult in execution, but like once you get the system down, you have it down. It's not hard to understand once you get into it. And it's a fantastic game. I love being able to just break it out whenever I want. I still have to tinker with the challenge cards yet, but it's too satisfying of a game to win that I don't want to risk losing that illusion by making it actually difficult. Also, finally got to bust out Septima this month. My dad's first time playing it. That was a good time. It was definitely a struggle. I had to refresh myself on a lot of things, getting a lot of the small details, while also having to teach him. It wasn't too bad, but it's a heavy enough game that it was definitely a bit tougher, and I don't really consider that game so much for its score as much as it is just a learning opportunity for the both of us. So the next time around we're going to play it, maybe it'll be a little bit better, and eventually we might be able to add in the Shapeshifting and Omens expansions to that. I also got to play Libertalia Winds of Galecrest again at 3 players. Played it with my mom and my dad. They both absolutely love that game, and I do too. I think it's fantastic. I would love to get it at that 5 or 6 player count, because I feel like it would just be so extremely chaotic, and there would be no harsh feelings around the table at any point, because anyone can be doing anything at that point in time. And I would love to see it at that player count, but I still think it does do really well at 3 and 4. It's not too bad at 2, but if you haven't seen the review on it, 2 is my least favorite way to play that game, but it is still good. I'm not going to deny that. Other than that, I don't really have anything super noteworthy in my stats list. Those are the games that I wanted to talk about. So that's everything that I got for the month. 57 total plays across 32 different games. Not a lot of 5s and dimes. I got a decent amount of diversity this month, which I think kind of makes up a little bit for the lack of total plays that I have. Because usually when I get a lot of plays, it's because I've played one game just a lot, or a few games just a lot, because we have a lot of small games that we cram in. Now we're getting more into the medium weight type of stuff that we don't play as frequently because they take longer to play, and that is perfectly fine by me. That's my comfort zone. I like games that take a little bit of time, because then I get to fully engage with it and be immersed in it, rather than okay, I start it, I'm starting to get into the flow of it, and then it ends. I don't like games that do that all the time. There are some times where I'm just in the mood for that quick, snappy, hey, let's get it done, get it over with, say that we played a game, and just have those few minutes of fun, because those games are still worthwhile. And of course, I just got done doing an entire video on why small games are important, so I'm not going to diss on them. I don't hate the fact that those games are shorter. It's just a lot of the time I like the longer experiences personally, but I do still see the value in those smaller games. So not trying to overcorrect on that video there. I'm going to clarify that now before I get too far into that discussion. But yeah, that's all I got for my stats for this month. And again, the channel update. Like I said, guys, there is a chance I might not be coming back to making these videos. We'll give it a month to see how things go, but in the meantime, you will still be getting content from me of the stuff that I already have done and scheduled to release. So thank you guys all so much for tuning in. I always love having you here, and if you have any thoughts on any of these games, let me know down in the comments. I always appreciate hearing from you. And until next time, guys, if you enjoy the content, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. We'll see you in the next video, and as always, we hope you enjoy your stay. Peace out.